Oh, executive dysfunction. Definitely was just like distracted. Then went, wait, shoot. I'm a little sad. I'm thinking.
Co-op. Aha! Here we go. Good evening, and welcome back to the Sunday Scaries. Hopefully it is displaying now. Yes, it is. Good. Okay. And welcome back, Hanapingu. Hello.
Hello.
We are hopefully going to finish day 4 today. Oh, and hello, Leah. Here right on time at the start, even when we weren't on time. Okay. All right.
I'm not sure we'll finish, but we'll work towards it.
Sure. All right. So, can we do all of these? I feel like we can't, right? We
Yeah.
can do. Oh, we can?
No, you should be able to do all of them.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So because there's more stuff I think than you used to be able to do. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. No, it depends on what you've done in previous days. There is a if you don't deal with if you deal with the ghost, that can limit the options a lot. But
I see.
or if you deal with the ghost by giving up years, I mean.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
He dealt with the ghost highly efficiently.
Okay. I have.
So unless something weird happens with Kanika, which is possible, and I don't know what the triggers are for that, you should be good to go to all of the places.
So I have attempted to raise your volume. I'm getting a network issue warning.
Huh. Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, apparently it's better, so that's good.
Okay.
We're gonna. I don't know why we'd be getting a network issue. There's nothing draining bandwidth, but we'll keep going. We'll do what we can.
Yeah.
All right. In decreasing order of locate or of distance, I think probably the mines is furthest out, then the church, then the diner, and then tea. Right.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go to the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin, since they are friends. You don't see it? Oh, come on. The two of them have had such a dynamic, you know? Classic dog and cat situation. Come on, I'll drive us. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourselves outside the Scarlet Mines. Yep, there's a small gathering of workers outside the entrance to the mines, picket signs in hand.
Oh, guys. No, this strike is not working out for you. I'm sorry.
Is this a strike? They're striking? There was a whole group of them talking about it in the diner yesterday. Seems like the collapse was the last straw for some folks. Good for them, but I kind of thought there'd be more of them, you know? I hope it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Don't worry, I know these guys. Most of them are in the diner at least a couple days a week. They'll be chill. Will they be chill talking to Tap with his cousin, though? Well, sorry. Let's see, who's talking first?
Davis is, I think, the tall one.
Okay. Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. You might have had us fooled the other day, but word gets around fast. My God. Hail and well met. Let's get straight to the point. And you guys seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber?
I can use one.
If you want, go
She's the
for it.
one on all the. Maybe I'll try to do Southern accent. She's the one on all the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her, and we've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by.
Oh no, this isn't looking good. It's okay. Just because she hasn't been seen today doesn't mean something bad happened to her. We'll make sure to keep an eye out. How goes the strike? We miscalculated. We thought a kid losing her leg would have pushed folks over the edge, but I guess the boss personally dragging those kids out of the mine left a lasting impression.
Which, fair.
Yeah, mixed.
People are calling the boss a goddamn hero.
They're calling Tabitha a hero? Really? You know, we were there too that night.
Okay, but only the people who actually went back into an actively collapsing mine are really gonna count for the hero thing. Just saying. Like, maybe your character should be getting the brunt of it more than Tabitha, but, like, also.
If you ask
That's
me, Becca's the real hero.
What?
Exactly. That's what the press will say.
I'm just saying that's like your character and Tabitha are the adults that chose to go back into a collapsing mine to save two children. And I can respect why that made people reluctant to strike, at least right now. Like, you know, maybe give it a couple weeks and try again.
Yeah.
That's my stance.
Anyway, this one's here.
It's like everyone just forgot about how poorly she's been treating us.
Or how unsafe the mines are. I can't go back down there knowing the rock over my head could come down any second. I value my life more than a paycheck. I mean, like, acceptable risks do exist when it comes to mining, but, like, this may have crossed that threshold, so.
Yeah, but I assume that there are much better supports in the newer mine.
You'd hope.
Like, yeah, well. It was dumb luck she saved those kids. If she had any actual values, she'd come to the table and give us what we're owed.
I know there's not a lot of us out here, but there's more of us at the diner, and there's more of us setting up mutual aid. Yes, good.
That seems good, yeah.
But once people see our follow-through, they're gonna join up. This is only the beginning.
Well, maybe it will work out for them long term.
Well, let me know if there's anything the general store can do to help. Anything you can think of, we'll take it. We need all the support we can get right now.
I mean, out of character, my thought would be bring them, like, you know, snacks and water.
Ah, the question I've been asking. What are your grievances? We like competitive pay, 8-hour shifts instead of 12 or more, improvements to the sick day and vacation policies.
Those are all super reasonable. Oh, and a thorough safety inspection before any of us step foot underground again. Also super reasonable. Okay, so what the strikers are asking for is super reasonable.
It's rare that a strike is asking for something reasonable.
Well, I mean, it does happen, but I'm just like, okay, yeah, they're not even trying to, like, push anything crazy.
Yep.
Like, I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, let's have our pie-in-the-sky goals and our sensible goals, and then we'll give up this pie-of-the-sky goals to have the compromise. Yeah. But no, they just want reasonable things.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's fair. That collapse was way too close to the active mine for me to feel safe down there until I know for sure I won't wind up buried under 2 tons of rock.
We want to change things. There's no reason we should be treated like we're a disposable workforce.
If we're the ones making her money, we should be making money too, not just scraping by.
That's my surplus value. I don't know you. That's a lot of grievances. Working here seems tough. Yeah. Do you think Tabitha can even make those changes without the mines going under? If she can't, they deserve to go under. If you can't run Your
Well, I mean,
business.
I think part of it is that like Tabitha is genuinely afraid, and this is almost certainly trauma from Pearland, that the town will fall apart if the mines go under. And maybe it will. And I think let the town die, but that's a different thing, and I understand why people don't want that to happen.
Yeah, something tells me she's not running the mines at cost, right?
Actually, some of the stuff she says, especially when you're friendly with her, makes it sound like she actually is.
But again, then like you run into that problem of if you can't clear expenses just running your business without exploiting your workforce and putting them in danger, then you can't run your business.
Well, I don't know that she's actually putting him in danger. Like the sick pay, like absolutely should they get competitive pay, less hours, and it does make sense to have a safety inspector now that the previous old mine collapsed again. But
Exactly.
like, there's nothing that has happened that is implied that their working conditions in the modern mine are unsafe, other
Except
than what a
for,
coal mine usually is.
I would say, except for the fact that one of the shafts just collapsed, which will in fact have repercussions with the others.
Yes. And so now it is absolutely reasonable to be asking that.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm sure she can figure it out. I'm not saying she's not a bad boss. People clearly aren't happy with her, but coal's getting used less and less, and I've seen that old Scarlet house. It's practically condemned. If she had money to spare, where's it going?
And that's really the only point I've been trying to make is like, I blame Tabitha a lot less for this than I do Pearl Ann.
But anyway, I really didn't peg you as someone who'd go to bat for Tabitha, because that's the thing is that the house didn't fall into that level of disrepair the day Perlan died, right?
Yeah, it's implied Pearl Ann's been dead for like a week at this point, and
Yeah, and that's
but like
years of
on the flip
neglect
side,
on
it
the
means
house.
that Tabitha has only taken over the mine in the last week or two.
Well, we
So,
don't know how long Perlan was just kind of infirm, right? I guess is the thing.
oh, that's. I mean, it's implied that she died of like sleep apnea, and so was pretty functional before then. But she could have had Tabitha starting to take over, I suppose.
Okay, fair enough. Either way. I'm not. I'm just trying to get the full picture here. And if the mine fails, I don't see how Aunt Winnie's diner doesn't fail with it. Yeah, this is the point you were saying before. Okay, but that's the whole problem. A single family shouldn't be able to hold an entire town hostage. The workers need a say in the business. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna let's use the book smart
Kind
option.
of to warn, yeah, to warn them.
Exactly. You're aware this isn't legal, right? She can just fire you all and not face any repercussions. She hasn't fired us yet. We're in a game of chicken right now, and we don't intend to blink. We should just... Yeah, okay, they haven't seen Stella. Let's just go. If that means we don't have to talk to Tabitha, that's fine by me. We've done our due diligence here. Come on. I'll drive us back to town, and we can figure out our next move from there. We don't cross picket lines on this show.
There is actually a way to go in without crossing the picket line, but my only thing on that, and the reason I often don't worry about that, is because I thought crossing picket lines was only relevant if you were going to engage with the business.
I'm gonna count
Like,
meeting
don't
with
cross
the.
picket.
I'm gonna count meeting with the owner as still crossing picket lines, especially when you're one of the
Even if
people who
they're
was
your
involved in
cousin
the
and
thing.
okay, but even if they're your cousin and you're just looking for a missing friend?
It may not technically be a violation, but it's bad optics either way.
Okay, well, there is an option back there, I think, where you can say, I need to talk to Tabitha, and then you call her instead of going past the
Sure,
picketers.
but we don't really need to talk to her right now anyway. So
That's fair. Yeah, she probably hasn't heard anything new.
I was about to say, in the morning she hadn't heard from Stella. Why would she have heard from her since?
But yes, no, and I'm not trying to, like, justify crossing picket lines. I'm just trying to understand, like, the implications.
Yep. Anyway, we should check out the church. The church? Why? I see what you're thinking. Stella was confronted with evidence of the afterlife, so she might try getting into all that religious stuff. It's worth checking out. I think we'd be barking up the wrong tree, but I guess you're right. There's no point in not being thorough. Wouldn't mind stocking up on some holy water while we're there, too. Seems like a good idea to cover all our bases at this point. Is it even that kind of church? There we go.
Yeah, there
I
we
don't
go.
think Baptists do the holy water thing, but I'm sure Pastor Daniel would pretend to bless some water if it meant keeping us around a little longer. That's good enough for me. Let's not linger, though. I don't want him thinking we're possible converts. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope toward the church. You know, I've lived here for a few years now, and I've never actually been to the church. Hang on a second. So we didn't play Spot the Ditchling a moment ago, but who's that fella? Right over there.
Hello, Wayne. I don't see
Okay.
any ditchlings though, so that's
No. Well, I mean, if Wayne's there probably won't be any ditchlings, right?
fair. I mean,
You would just stomp them all. Anyway. That's probably for a good reason. Where is that weirdo? My, 4 visitors at once? On a Thursday? This is unprecedented. But there are only 3 of us. Oh no, were we followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? Yes, you were.
technically yes, but not visibly. Sup, old people?
Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here?
All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek.
Does Zane have a picture of himself skateboarding on his shirt with a deck that says Zane on the bottom?
I mean, the deck that says Zane is absolutely the case. I don't know if that's supposed to be him or not.
It could be.
Yeah.
Anyway. Give it time, Zane. It sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart, but when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk.
Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all.
Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night and no one's seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hope maybe you or Janie had seen her? I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's just over by the alpacas. Though, Charlie, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. What do you have to say to them that you can't say in front of us? Leah, yes, alpacas! Hopefully we will get to talk to them. We'll see.
There's not in this episode, tragically, but do you see the little alpaca? It's
Oh yeah, over here.
you can just barely see it. Fuzzy.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I believe that they will feature much more heavily when we come back to the church to deal with the problems here in a future chapter.
Please, if you wouldn't mind, this is a personal matter. It's alright, we can get the juicy details later. I'd rather folks not pry on this one. You know how rumors get started. Yeah, alright. It's okay, I'm happy to talk to him. If you're sure. I guess we'll leave you to it while we check in with Janie. We'll be right over there by the fence that's conveniently in your line of sight, okay? See you in a minute. Your friends head off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. Yeah, there they are. I'm so glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear him. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on.
Realized that no, their animals are just animals.
Doesn't give them bigger brains. Are we sure we're actually talking to animals? Now that I know there are at least 2 of us, I have no doubt. There have definitely been times in my life when I thought I might just be nuts. But it's so consistent, and I've never exhibited any other signs of insanity. In my most doubted moments, I may have considered the possibility that other entities may be using the animals to confuse my faith. But besides a particularly vicious hamster that I had growing up, The most an animal's ever tried to convince me to do is give them more food. So I somehow doubt they're puppets for some otherworldly evil. Unless that otherworldly evil wants me to overfeed my pets.
Well, that's a bit melodramatic.
Well, have we been cursed? Why do we suffer this fate? I don't think it's a curse. It can be annoying at times, but so can talking to people. Not that I feel that way very often, of course. As a servant of God, I'm always ready and willing to talk with my fellow man about anything they need to discuss. Spiritually, I've always rationalized that it's God's sign that I should spread his word to even the beasts of his world. I've had mixed results. Seems the alpacas prefer Catholicism, which they know about somehow, and birds tend to be incredibly heretical.
Amazing.
I wish I could approach a scientist about this without becoming a research experiment. But I prefer to keep quiet at my doctor's visits. I can't risk being locked away or altered in some permanent way, not when I have a family to take care of. It is wild that they probably could do an experiment where they have, like, they play the call of an animal and have each of you and him in separate rooms, and you transcribe what was said, and your things will match even without being, able to coordinate with each other.
Yeah. Just do that, like, card trick where it's like, say the shape on the card.
Right, exactly. But you would have to have the animal would have to be able to tell what it is, right?
Yeah. I feel like there's plenty of animals that are
right.
smart enough to figure that out.
You could have you hold up something to an animal. Yeah.
The person who's talking to animals would have to clarify if the animal seems willing to cooperate.
Well.
But this one seems excited. This one will absolutely not do the thing. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway, have you met Frou Frou, Gretchen, Pixel? Of course I have, but I learned early on in life not to let on that I have this gift, at least while other humans are around, so I haven't spoken with any of them. Though I get the feeling that Frou Frou wouldn't talk to me even if she knew I could understand her. I've tried to befriend the alpacas when no one else is around. Emphasis on tried. They're surprisingly cliquey. Besides that, I try to maintain a low profile, only chatting with the wildlife when I'm sure no one is looking. Is your gift why you got into the church? It's hard to say. I was raised Baptist by two loving parents and was always interested in religion, but I've also always known about my talent, so I don't know what came first. If anything, though, I'd say I'm religious in spite of the gift. It hasn't exactly been easy to square this with a lot of the religious education I've had. For instance, a lot of religious leaders will tell you that only humans have souls. Well, you and I both know that's not true. Though I suppose that gets into a whole different conversation about what exactly a soul is. But those are conversations that I'm glad to leave to the scholars. I am just a simple small-town pastor. I don't need to ask the big questions anymore. I just have to help people through their daily lives. Is this why people think you're creepy? Because you have the gift? People think I'm creepy?
Aw, buddy.
But it's alright. People say all kinds of things. I just have to be patient and persistent, and I know eventually they'll understand that I can be a comforting presence in their lives, not a creepy one.
Sorry, dude, I do think the curse of the town is working against you.
Maybe if I grew a thicker beard, people would trust me more? Or maybe I should get a cool jacket?
Oh, buddy. I do like how it's like, I hope you don't think the two of us sharing the gift means we're friends, versus, I hope you know that this means the two of us are bonded for life, best friends!
Yep. So, like, these aren't necessarily nice. Does Janie know is okay?
Neutral. I can't express how much of a relief it is nice.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. It would be a relief, I think. I can't express how much of a relief it is to finally meet someone else like me. Likewise, though it may be more than just the two of us now. I have my suspicions that Tulip might have inherited the gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. He is interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Tulip, Come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, you gonna be good, or we gonna skip story time tonight?
I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise.
I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay.
I like the little smile.
Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into the woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There we go.
As your character well knows.
There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and looks like it's part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. It's everything my mother warned me about as a kid. Why I was supposed to always steer clear of leaf piles. Anyway. How big of a trash dump are we talking? Would a weekend of hard work clear it out? Maybe if you had construction equipment and a team of professionals. It's a big area, and I have no idea how deep it goes. In the meantime, I'm just making sure Tulip knows not to go near it.
I'm absolutely convinced something lives at the bottom of that trash heap.
Oh, I thought it was going to be that there's another totem there, or sigil, whatever, at the bottom of it.
That doesn't mean that there isn't something living at the bottom of the trash heap.
Indeed, more likely that there is, yeah.
Yes. There is 100% going to be another sigil there. That I am, like, so sure of. Like, I'd be shocked if that wasn't true. Yep. I just also think that there is some kind of horrible trash monster.
Yep. Also, yep, Wayne is very visible right over there.
Yep.
Anyway, what were you saying about the church rats? Ah, yeah, the rats. So, you and I are used to the sort of chatter we hear from wildlife. It's usually nothing that needs to be paid attention to. But these rats, there's something so sinister about them. They must be huge, judging by the sound of them scurrying around in there. Tulip had never shown evidence of the ability before. She's never responded to the alpacas or engaged in conversation with the birds. In retrospect, she could have been hiding it the way I did growing up. Because I know she's been talking to the rats. She calls them her friends. They've been drawing all these pictures of them. Really ghastly things. I tried to bring it up with her, but she just gets this little smile and doesn't say a word. It's like her fun little secret. It's all innocent enough in the grand scheme of things, but I'm pretty sure they also live out in that trash heap. There we go.
Oh, that was what made me start thinking it.
And ever since she started talking about her friends, she's been trying to sneak out there. Yup.
Yeah, I think they're trying to kidnap her.
I'm concerned she's going to get hurt or catch some kind of disease. What have they been saying? They like to try to goad me into crying or becoming depressed. They watch me through the unseen holes and make fun of me and try to figure out how to press my buttons. Bully rats.
That's awful.
It's annoying, but easy enough to block out, especially when I'm praying. I don't think they're a good influence on Tulip, though. She's gotten quiet and secretive ever since she started talking to them. I'd hate to think what they say to her when I'm not around to hear. Have you actually seen them? No, but I don't need to. I lived in a dorm that had rats once. You never see them, but the church has all the signs of an infestation, and there's no mistaking the sound of little creatures stampeding through the walls.
Still doesn't mean that they're rats.
Gotta set up that drum trap, find out.
Oh, well.
I've left out some humane rat traps, but they're too smart for them. All it's done is waste peanut butter. Yeah, I know, you need that 55-gallon drum trap.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, these things might be smart enough even to avoid that, so.
Maybe. And I caught a possum in one, poor thing. Possums are never very bright, but at least he got a nice big scoop of peanut butter out of the ordeal. Has Janie heard them? She's not in the church very often. She's usually in town during her jobs until late, and we spend our evenings at the house. It's just me and Tulip all day long. Janie knows Tulip has made some strange little friends, but thinks it's an imagination game. I was hoping I'd sort out the rat issue before she could get suspicious, but they're persistent, so I may have to hire an exterminator if I can get the money for one. Hope it doesn't have to come to that.
I definitely remember talking to Janie in some context somewhere where she says something that makes me think she also knows that there are rats in the church, but she thinks they're normal rats and doesn't know that there's anything weird going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, are you sure that they're rats? I
The
think
key
so.
question.
The pastor shifts uncomfortably for a moment. I hope so.
I don't think they're rats. I don't know what they are yet, but I don't think they're rats.
I mean, they might just be infected rats, right?
I mean, I suppose that's fair. It could be a rat variant.
Like, they have the funny orange text and all that stuff.
Yeah. I doubt that they're just ditchling infected, though.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Who can say?
They're something of their own.
Yeah, is there anything I can do to help? Maybe I could try talking to them. That'd be lovely. I'd certainly appreciate a helping hand here. I don't want to be too much of a bother, and you should probably finish looking for your missing friend first, but I'll be around. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we'd better get going. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Charlie. We got to feed the alpacas. They were so cute and soft. It was awesome.
Oh, good for them.
And Janie says she'll come by at dinner. And Janie says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners, and a few extra for me, of course.
Nice.
I hope your talk with the pastor went well. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best of circumstances. I'll let y'all be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. All right, thanks. See ya. Kanika and Avery start back down the path to town, and you follow.
Is whatever the background sound on your end, is that something happening in another room that you can't really control?
Yeah, if there is, then yes, that is what's happening.
Ah, well. It's not overwhelming, it's just I'm noticing it.
Probably part of the reason why is because you can't hear the in-game music.
That's true, yeah, because the way the sharing works, I don't hear it.
Actually,
Right,
we can switch that. Give me a second here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing music.
Yeah, it just means
it does make the whole ghost haunting a lot less creepy.
Hang on.
I was perfectly happy not to have sound for that.
Alright, so we need to do share entire screen, I think, for that, right?
Yeah.
Also share system audio. Share. Here we go. Haha. Can you hear the birds?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, unfortunately now I also hear myself.
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh, it's fine. I'll live.
You're sure?
For now.
Because we can switch off the system audio if you want, but
I like the sound.
okay. So anyway, so what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent on talking to you alone. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? Yeah, we'll start with... He wanted to talk about our shared gift. Wait, Pastor Daniel can also talk to animals? Whoa. Sounds like some sort of hotspot for weird stuff. Cool weird stuff, of course, but this is starting to get pretty wild. I still can't believe that of all the people in the world you could have shared that ability with, you wound up stuck with Pastor Daniel. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? The only place left besides the main advancing the story, the diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. And a lot of miners. Here's hoping Wendy doesn't try to rope me into clocking in early.
Now, with how light the strike is, it'll probably only be a few miners.
Indeed. It feels like you've walked into a private meeting. The back booth is full of miners, and they're having what seems to be an intense discussion, their expressions gravely serious. So I guess this is where the miners are setting up shop? Oh yeah, I think you did this one.
I could do it, yeah.
Yeah.
When you asked for the morning off, I didn't think you'd be showing up with friends.
Sorry, Aunt Winnie. Stella's gone missing, and I've been helping these two track her down. You haven't seen her, have you?
Don't you apologize now. And I can't say I have. Should I be worried about her?
I hope not. We're not interrupting anything here, are we?
Of course not. Any paying customer is welcome, as long as you aren't about to step on anybody's toes or cause a fuss.
The miners in back were too engaged in conversation to notice you enter, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear.
I can do Harrison.
Which one is he?
There's no way I can risk something like this. Y'all know my sister's tuition depends on this paycheck, and I can't afford a place outside of the company housing. This is too risky. We should just cut it out now before she starts firing people.
I hate to say it, Zax, but Harrison might have a point. Everybody shut it. Smith just let me know the boss's cousin over there was snooping around up in the mines this morning. Let's not give the boss any more ammunition. Smith didn't seem to be too worried, but still, we don't have a lot of room for error here. The conversation cuts out, an uncomfortable silence falling over the diner as the miners watch you with suspicion.
That's interesting because you can hear a lot more in the conversation if
Mm-hmm.
you don't go to the mines first.
Another little layer of the system of the game showing itself there. Anyway. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing.
The YouTube?
We ain't seen her. Harrison's voice drops to a barely audible mumble.
I hope she's. You got a comment?
Both of these things are true. Everyone should join the strike, but don't pressure people into it.
Yeah, you don't have to weigh in.
So
You
about the
can't say
strike.
both, so.
Yeah. Look, kid, I don't care how well-intentioned Smith thinks you are. I'll be damned if we talk business in front of you. I think this is a good one.
Yeah.
Look, I support you guys, but maybe you can save it until next week. Tabitha's mom just died, and this whole strike thing is hardly fair. She's having a hard time. Oh, she's having a difficult week? Is that why she's forcing her workers to go back into the mines not 2 days after a collapse? Look, I'm iffy on the timing myself, but the Scarlets have been taking advantage of folks for a long time. You can't blame people for wanting to do something about it. And I'm not. But
Yeah, no. Like you said, I like that option. Like I do support the strike. I just don't support the sniping.
right, do you want to be able to negotiate with Tabitha? And if so, you want her to not be distracted by the funeral. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we should go. I guess we should get going. I should go.
Yeah.
You turn and leave the diner, Avery and Kanika trailing close behind you. Still no sign of Stella. Before you can say anything, you're interrupted by Kanika's phone buzzing. Oh my god, my mom's calling me. When is she gonna learn to text? Give me a second. Hey, what's up? No, still no sign of her. We were gonna keep looking a while longer. I'm really feeling okay, I'm not... You're right. Now that you mention it, I do feel kind of tired. I shouldn't push myself. I'll come home. She has a point. I'm not feeling well right now. I've got to get back to the general store. Maybe some tea could help. Man.
You notice how Kanika seemed fine? Only now does she look tired?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Suspicious.
did Sybil just put the whammy on her over the phone? That's wild. I didn't realize you were that sick. This really crept up on me. I was doing fine until My mother said I was sick. Kanika starts to sway, losing balance in her legs. Whoa. Ah! It's great.
Yeah, that's like messed up.
I must have been running on adrenaline. She stumbles, bumping into you before regaining her balance. Sorry, I just need some help getting home. I'll have some tea and maybe lie down, and then maybe we can get back to looking for Stella. Yeah, it shouldn't take us long to get back. Come on, Charlie, let's get moving before she passes out. Thanks, and sorry, this is embarrassing. Don't mention it. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as you and Avery bring Kanika inside. Oh dear, Kanika, you poor thing. This is why you were supposed to stay in bed today. If you keep running around like this, it's going to take you so much longer to recover. Yeah, that does feel a little weird, right? Thank you, Leah.
Yeah.
Thank you both for getting her home. I hope you're feeling better after last night's fiasco. Hi, Mom. Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. And Charlie, once she's all situated, I believe I owe you a chat. Hopefully we can start to get to the bottom of whatever's happening to the town. Wait, if you're talking about mystery-related stuff, I should be there. Sweetie, you done enough today, and you never like when I do tea readings anyway. I'm sure Charlie can catch you up once you're feeling better. Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should really lie down. Kanika heads toward the stairs and disappears without saying another word. And I'm so sorry to be a bad host, Avery, but I was hoping Charlie and I could do our reading in private. I'm sure Winnie needs help at the diner. Ah, you're right. I totally left her on her own today. Fine by me. I wouldn't want to mess with your tea vibes. I'm sure those leaves are very particular. We just came from the diner and Winnie had it well in hand.
Yeah.
Oh, but before I go, I did want to ask. Are you a witch? As flattered as I am that you think I'm that magical, I'm just an old lady who likes tea and has a few unusual hobbies.
Yeah, like growing. Well, let's skip that for now.
Just a simple country herbalist.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm just saying, doing stuff like reading tea leaves is pretty witchy as far as I'm concerned, but I won't push it. Though, just so you know, if you are a witch, you can totally tell us. We'd be cool about it. Alright, I'll leave y'all to your not supernatural private tea leaf reading. Wink! We'll catch up tomorrow, Charlie. They make their way out of the general store, disappearing down the street in the direction of the diner. Shall we? Sybil motions toward the tea room. If only. If only.
I'm allergic to tea! Such a funny one. Oh man, there's some really creepy things that your character will think with the right traits.
I'm sure.
Like specifically, Keen Eye and Street Smarts will both give you a reaction to how she treats her daughter. That is like, oh, well, that makes sense. She's just being a caring mom or whatever. But if you also have Mystical, it will follow up with, wait, those weren't your thoughts.
Ha!
Or something, sometimes something a little less obvious than that.
Yeah.
Like, something feels weird about that somehow.
Please have a seat.
Oh no, it's either it will tell you those aren't your thoughts, or it will say, it'll back you up and be like, yeah, totally that. And I know what the kicker is, but I don't know if you want to know what the kicker is.
Nah, we'll save it for another playthrough, maybe. Anyway.
All right.
Please have a seat. Sorry. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright glow lights over the plant in the corner. It's castor bean. An incredibly toxic plant, and strange for a tea maker to keep around in her workspace. I bet that's the one they make castor oil out of, right?
Yeah,
Which is the thing that
but like also the leaves and the berries are super poisonous.
but specifically like that one stuck out to me because castor oil I think is what the mom in the Sixth Sense is sneaking into the kids like food that she brings her in bed.
Oh.
Anyway, Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy with an undercurrent of decaying earth. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? Some of the plants in here are toxic. They seem like they would be odd things to keep in a tea room. Castor bean and the oleander in the corner behind me, they can produce ricin and rat poison, respectively. It just seems like strange plants for a person who makes presumably edible teas to have lying around in the open. Aren't you sharp? I am an appreciator of plants regardless of whether they can be used in tea.
Mm-hmm.
Oleander's blooms are beautiful, and castor bean has such massive leaves. You have to admit it makes for an impressive plant in this back room that no one usually sees.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both perfectly harmless so long as no one goes munching them or grinding them up.
Mm-hmm.
I keep those separate from the garden out back for just that reason, so no one confuses them for something edible. Wink! Don't wink at me, Sybil. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. Did you know my mom? But of course. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearl Ann was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man.
Wow, a bad combination of things to both be stronger.
Right? Yeah. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Pearl Ann and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? The question on the lips of every podcaster.
Did they even exist?
Yeah, did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart, something just as forgettable. First or last name? From what Vivian said, her mother was, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. This is all part of what we saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. Was Vivian the one that we saw swing the thing?
No, Edwardine.
That was Everdeen. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It's your character's great grandmother.
Yes.
and she's the one who raised your character's mother and Berlin.
Right. So, what happened when my mom found out she was expecting? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother, maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets were never particularly religious as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. What's with all the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. Can you not drink it and just pour the tea out and read the leaves?
That may only be possible if you're street smart, but there were some changes made. You could try.
I'm not going to drink this. And I'm afraid I can't be of much help. Tea readings are my specialty. If I don't have your leaves, I can't do a reading.
Okay, no, you do get the option.
I'm curious both ways. I think I want to drink the tea and then reload and then not drink the tea.
Well, actually, I can kind of tell you what will happen right now.
Hmm?
It's not that interesting. So if you drink the tea, she'll do a reading and it'll be the same regardless. If you leave, you just leave.
Yep. But my thinking would be, yeah, it'll affect things later if I have had the tea, right?
It does affect things later, but not for quite a while.
Yeah. I'm just gonna leave. You go to stand up from the table to leave. As you do so, you feel a pull at the back of your mind. You see a flash of the door in the clinic. It and some of the answers you seek are waiting for you. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. Visit Kanika before leaving. Alright, I won't stop you, but I would like to have a deeper conversation sometime soon. Hopefully it won't be too late by then. You get up from the table and make your way to Kanika's room. Aw. You knock on Kanika's door. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just gonna lie down for a while. In the immortal words of Dr. Girlfriend, I'm not your mommy. Oh, Charlie, what's up? You don't have to listen to your mom, you know. You're an adult. Let's get out of here. Sorry, Charlie, my mom was right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it or I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. It looks like you're on your own.
Have you seen the scene if you're able to talk to Kanika here?
I don't remember.
So there is a way that can, it's usually if you're going out of your way to like have good relation with Kanika, like it's most often comes up on Kanika romance route, but like there is a scenario in which you can come in and talk to her and then she'll be like, you know what, screw it, I am going out, and then she'll try to leave with you.
Yep.
And let's just say Sybil goes, oh honey, no, you shouldn't leave. And then suddenly Kanika decides she's not leaving after all.
It keeps reminding me of in the cult episode of The Simpsons way back when, there's a thing where they're discussing it, and Lisa's just like, Dad, you better be careful. You're the highly suggestible type. And then Homer responds like, yes, I am the highly suggestible type. Anyway, you make your way out of the general store and down the road to the clinic. You make your way up the familiar hill past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Hey! We got one in the pipeline. We got one over here. We got a raccoon looking at it scared. We got another one up here. I don't know if we have any on the house proper. We got a couple of them over here, it looks like.
Yeah, at least two.
We got one over there. And there's Wayne. Hasn't gone stomping all of them yet. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your rib cage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you toward whatever emits this compulsive frequency. Ask a woodland creature how they'd get into the house? Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
You quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. A flash of a striped tail grabs your eye immediately. Raccoon friend!
Can I help you, Buster?
Hey there, if you were trying to break into that house at the top of the hill, how would you do it?
What? Just because I've got little hands and go through people's trash, I'm supposed to know how to break into places?
I mean, yeah.
There's a hill that'll take you right up to that flat roof thing. Sometimes the humans leave windows open up there and I go inside. Don't tell them, okay? I like to sleep on their big piles of cloth. It's one of my few joys in life.
Fair. Raccoons, I'm sure, have many joys in life. He leaves as you turn back to look at the clinic.
He could be lying. Gain sympathy.
You have your way in. Or he may just be ungrateful for the other joys he has in life. It's possible, too.
You're right there.
Did Reese know we were coming?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't think you have his number, so you wouldn't text him or anything.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine if you knocked on his window, you could do a, hey, want to do the movie night or something?
Yeah, I don't have powerful build or street smart, so this will be interesting. You're pretty sure you can make the jump to the second floor, at least with a running start. You make your way up the hill and bend your knees in anticipation. And then you jump. You land and try the door. It's unlocked.
There you go.
The upstairs of the clinic feels like a decommissioned museum. Old furniture is covered in plain white sheets, and a thick layer of dust coats the floor. This place hasn't seen any use in years. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it.
So it's interesting because just about every train has a way for you to get into the house. There's a couple additional in addition to those. One of my favorites is the one. It's just, you're going to just walk in there and no one's going to see you.
Which build was that?
Mystical.
Mystical? Nice.
Yep. Your mystical option to break in is just walk in, no one's going to notice. It's just how these things work.
Carry yourself with the confidence of a mediocre white man.
Well, I mean, it's implied that mystical reasons mean that no one's actually going to notice you in this context.
Mm-hmm.
But I do just walk in.
You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and toward a dark hallway under the stairs. It's been left ajar,
Doorway.
as if inviting you to enter. The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Charlie? What are you doing in the morgue? Vampire!
I like that.
Oh god, you died and she Frankenstein did you back to life. What are you doing in the morgue? Leo, what are you doing in Canada? What are you doing in Canada? Anyway. I'm sure it looks weird. It's not like I expected anyone to come down here. I was just, practicing. A rehearsal, if you will. Rehearse, you say? Good one. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. Well, can't do anything but follow the pull. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake at your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of looked possessed for a second there. Are you good? Make him understand. Why wall? Need see thing, but wall stand in way.
Do like that one.
Yeah, there's some kind of magic stuff going on, man. It's telling me I need to get behind that wall. Yeah, we know it's a carving. There's a stone carving on the other side of the wall, and I need to see it. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the dock out of our hair. Should take 2 seconds. Get the dock out of your hair? Yeah, if I say I'm sick and need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyway. Oh, now come on. Doesn't that make her worry about you even more? There's nothing I can do at this point to get her to stop worrying about me. Might as well use it to my advantage when I can. Yes, please, axe now. Yes. Yes, I will destroy the wall. Wow, you are seriously desperate about that wall. I'll make it quick. Be right back. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently.
Reese, I didn't know you were awake.
I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. Looks like we're all out, though.
Really? I thought I'd just picked some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice and some ginger ale, too.
That'd be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy.
It's no problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back.
Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked. The theatrical gasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up, we don't have long till she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall until you find it, and unveil it. There we go. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye, some sort of record with your family's name on them. You're a fast reader. It shouldn't take you long to skim these. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the documents. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can we see all of them?
Yeah. You're book smart. You can read all this shit. In
Cause
no
of
time.
Perlan's death certificate. Cause of death, sleep apnea. Discovered by her daughter Tabitha, chrysanthemum scarlet. No autopsy performed. Tabitha's middle name is Chrysanthemum? Wonder who cursed her with that mouthful. I remember as a child reading a children's book about a main character named Chrysanthemum. And somebody was bullying her, saying that her name has 13 letters in it, which is exactly half of the alphabet, and why does she need so many letters? She should save some for the rest of us.
Oh. I mean, there are repeat ones.
Right, but it's, yeah.
2 H's, 2 M's.
Look, man, I didn't make the
But
point.
You know, it's like...
Aw, it is pretty. It's a pretty flower.
Yeah.
Alright, Edwardine. Edwardine Scarlett, born April 9th, 1913. Died February 12th, 2003. Age 89. Cause of death, heart failure. Signed by her granddaughter, Perlan Scarlett. Pretty normal. Almost made it to 90. Died of a normal old person illness. Enoch Scarlett, born September 9th, 1887. Died August 20th, 1957. Age 69. Cause of death, fall from cliff. You know, they say it's not the fall that gets you. It's the sudden stopping bit at the end, etc. This one has a coroner's report attached. Organ sustained impact injuries. Lacerations to the neck and body consistent with a fall from a great height. Whoa, an actual autopsy report. Looks ancient. Other miscellaneous death certificates. You flip through a few of the other Scarletts whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlett, born in 1890, died in 1918. Cause of death, crushed in a mine collapse. Body not recovered. Signed by his brother Enoch.
I remember that one.
Yep, that's right. You had a great uncle who died in the collapse. Joseph Scarlett, born April 1914, died June 7th, 1944. Interesting. That must have mean he made it through the invasion at Normandy Beach and then died immediately after, I guess.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Lewis Scarlett, born August 1920, died June 6th, 1944. That would be the day of D-Day.
Yeah.
Both killed in Normandy in the line of duty. These must have been Edwardine's brothers. Yep. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy, Andrew Charles Scarlett. Discovered April 3rd, 1945. Stillbirth, mother...
You said discovered.
Sorry, delivered, yes. Body discovered, baby delivered, etc. Stillbirth, mother, Edwardine Scarlett. Yeah. Charles, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Cause of death, complications during birth. No doctor present. Home burial.
Mm-hmm.
Totally really died. Didn't get secreted away at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was very suspicious circumstances.
Well, that settles the question of whether you're related to Charlie.
Or does it?
Indeed. Alexander Scarlett, born December the 12th, 1947, died August 20th, 1957, age 9, missing, presumed dead, signed by mother Edwardine Scarlett. A lot of either missing or possibly missing Scarletts.
Maybe Booksmart will tell you, but there's something notable about that date.
Huh. Alexandra, the owner of the doll. So she went missing. And it was the same day Enoch died in a hiking accident. Mary Bell Scarlett, born September 3rd, 1946, died October 30, 1963 at age 17. Cause of death, complications during childbirth. Signed by her mother, Edwardine Scarlett. Wow. That's a lot of kids to outlive.
Yeah. I
You
mean, I'm fairly convinced that Alexandra was killed by some choice, something either by Enoch or something caused by Enoch, and then Edwardine killed Enoch by pushing him off the cliff.
Interesting. You don't think Alexandra
That's
killed
my
Enoch
theory.
and ran away?
I mean, that's also possible. But yeah, no, that's Andrew Charles Scarlett, alleged stillbirth. Poor Alexandra, dead at 9. Well, missing,
Missing,
presumed
presumed
dead
dead at
at
9.
9.
Yeah.
And Mary Beth, who was, of course, your character's grandmother.
Yes. Okay. You turn around and leave the office. It's time to move on. I feel like I need a, like, the root trees are dead style stringboard for all of this, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, some people have made that.
I'm sure.
That.
The medical supply room is probably a good bet. A fire axe seems like something that might be useful in a room full of chemicals. It's just down the hall. There it is. Looks like it needs a key, though. We better not break the glass. I'd rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had the chance to use it. There must be a key in here somewhere. He stops, as if listening to something you can't hear. Shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close, the creak of its antique hinges echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. She's headed this way. Quick, we gotta hide. I'm not supposed to be in here. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. Is there enough room if you let him in?
There it is.
Yeah. You make space, and he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. Then she hurries back out, bag rustling as she makes her way back down the hallway. We better wait a second just in case. Quietly wait for the danger to pass. The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back toward your hiding place, creaking floorboards, broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. His head swivels suddenly. That was the door to the house. We're in the clear. Let's go. The two of you spill out of the closet. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. You can't help but notice what Dr. Kelly left on the long steel table in the middle of the room. A sprig of small, furry fruits. Castor beans. You've seen them elsewhere in town, of course, in Sybil's tea room. Supposedly just decorative. Let Reese handle it. You watch while he rifles through the drawers, content to let him figure it out.
By the way,
Mm-hmm.
if you drank the tea,
Mm-hmm.
your character wouldn't have been able to remember where they saw the castor beans before.
Ha! Soon there is a jingling of keys and he turns to you, victorious. There we go. They're even color-coded. She made this too easy. Reese pauses to look at the plant on the table. It was weird of her to drop that off, right? Why would she put some alien-looking fruit in the supply room? She's not a pharmacist. She's not supposed to make her own medicine. And this room is for storing stuff she orders from an actual pharmacist. And I doubt it's decorative.
We could always eat it. That is definitely what you
Lol.
should do with a mysterious plant.
Especially one that you
Especially
know
when
is...
you literally already know it's poisonous.
Do you eat it if you actually click this? Do we know?
I don't think so, but I've never tried.
Yeah,
Do you want to just...
why the heck not? Well, we could always eat it and see what it does, am I right? I'm not going to be the one to try that, but I'm taking this with me.
I guess not.
He shoves a berry
If
from
you
the
want
weird
to
plant into his
undo
pocket.
that, it'd be one of your autosaves.
I don't care enough. It's fine.
Okay. Book smart character literally knows that's poisonous castor beans. It was just like, we could eat it.
It's
It's just
funnier
a
this
very
way.
funny choice.
Yep. I'll meet you down there. I gotta come up with something to cover for the noise.
We'll just assume that it was a joke and that if Reese had actually tried to eat it, you would have been like, wait, no.
He hands you the axe and you make your way back down the hallway toward the morgue. You follow Reese's instructions, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above.
I was right. We did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge, but there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest.
Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, it's just my music.
I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to.
Convenient, that.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time?
Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now.
Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner.
You hear the door close and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent lit room below. Hey? Wall, now, yes? I should warn you, something spooky might happen when we break that wall down. Reese smiles. Good. I feel like I've been missing out lately. Stop asking questions. It's time to see what's on the other side of that wall. Alright, let's do this. Have at it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. The first cut offers a surprising amount of resistance. There's some structure behind it, some wood frame holding it in place, trying to stand between you and what waits for you on the other side. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Sweet Christmas! Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back here. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward. As you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. No wonder our heating bills were insane. His voice.
He did go into the morgue. So.
Right, again, you know. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway toward the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, you okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. They said that...
I can do the...
which one do you want to do?
Enoch, I can do the injured man.
Sure.
They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I gonna do?
Nonsense, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research, always a good sign, and I've found us an alternative. Someone who can fix everything in one fell swoop. We're taking you home today, and by this time next week, everything will be resolved. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You are in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down a wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and then just collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I mean, you can keep going,
Yeah, I
but
will.
like, we're getting close to a point where I wouldn't want to interrupt to go do something.
Fair. Go ahead. Are you okay? Wait, nothing spooky happened? The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? No, nothing. You just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. That was a few hours ago. You don't have the kind of muscle mass required for that. Huh? Why would I lie about that? I just picked you up and carried you back. It's not like I had to go very far. I mean, you know, probably dragged you. Anyway. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come to in the morgue. You didn't call an ambulance when I started seizing, did you? Stella said you did something similar a couple of days ago. I figured it might just be something that happens to you every now and then when you see a weird carving. I know I wouldn't want somebody calling an ambulance for me every time I had an episode. Going to the hospital sucks. Also, you're in a clinic. I had a vision. Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Oh, it's just weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller. I think the carvings are trying to warn me about something. My family's got dark secrets. An old family like yours? I believe it. Hopefully that's all ancient history, though. I think Dr. Kelly should probably look me over. These seizures can't be too good for me. I don't think you'll want her to do that. While you were out, I looked this up. She's not the kind of doctor you want in charge of your health care. I should know. I'm the one she's been poisoning for years. I've been thinking about what you said at dinner last night, and I don't see any other possibility. It's only been a day since I've stopped taking my pills, and I feel great. Oh, buddy. But the doc's on the march to war up there over it. I have no idea what she's doing, but I blocked my door so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. You blocked your door? Of course I did. I put a chair in front of it. It's never failed me before. We don't need her coming down to finish me off or whatever it is she might do, now that I know her treatment plan has been all these years. But now we're just locked downstairs. Maybe I was a little panicked when I found out what she'd been giving me, and she was upstairs talking through the door saying I should take my pills, and I just took what few precautions I could. It's not ideal, but at least it buys us time to figure out what to do. We should treat her as a serious threat. This might sound strange, but I think she's gone to some desperate lengths in the past. There are these weird memories I have. I always assumed they were just dreams or hallucinations, but now I'm not so sure. I think she's used tranquilizers on me. Other times I think I've gotten too unruly for her. I don't know how much of these memories I can trust, but I'm starting to think I should believe my instincts when it comes to the lengths that she's willing to go to keep me under her control. We'll wait until she's asleep, and then we can at least get out of the basement, and we can figure out what to do from there. I don't get why your mom would poison you, though. I don't know. But the internet says this is castor bean. It's used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. And death, usually. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly, or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that. Cops. I like that. With your evidence, we should be able to go to the cops. Maybe not the local cops, but cops. I do have the castor bean from the pharmacy, but I still have to prove where I got it from. And that she used it to poison me. It's possible the cops might just think I'd snapped and it could turn out even worse for me. I don't think the doc would hesitate to have me committed if it meant she could keep her hold on me. Ricin's really bad. How are you not dead? I don't know. Maybe it's low enough doses, or maybe I developed a tolerance. But I think the fact that I feel more and more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. I don't even need solid evidence. Buddy. Come on.
Have a turn.
Okay. I don't want to be down here. I want to leave. Let's find a distraction until it's safe to leave. A distraction seems like a really good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It would obviously take more than a day for ricin poisoning to be out of his system. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. What if your mom doesn't fall asleep? You shouldn't call her my mom. As far as I'm concerned, she's forfeited that title. I don't even think I should call her doctor. She's just some woman now. Can't wait for her to be in the rearview mirror of the rest of my life. If she doesn't fall asleep by 10, we can figure something out. These windows are supposedly shatterproof, which she always said was good for burglars. Now I assume was yet another way to keep me boxed in. But we can try to break them anyway. Shatterproof does not mean break-proof. It's hard to make break-proof glass of any kind. Although I guess
There.
like at that point, then what would happen is you would just kick the entire pane out.
Yeah.
Which they did in a movie once upon a time, where a character was supposed to kick out the back window of a cop car to get out of the cop car, and it was just going to break the glass. But then, he was strong enough, he actually just kicked the whole window out.
Well, fair enough.
Anyway. And that actor? Jason Segel. Anyway. I believe you owe me a showing of Shinochi Deathblood. I believe I do. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people will react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time. What with the grisly paintings, the lack of lighting, the cinder block walls, and, of course, the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs had been poisoning our son since his teens. Maybe. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, although this is probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that then wind up tying back into the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engaging. Oh, sorry, engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person. Or talk to people, ever. Hey, your teeth looking a little weird, dude? Your eyes looking a little gaunt? You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison.
Ears looking a little...
Oh yeah, a little pointy. A little pointy on the ears all of a sudden. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. Shh, I'm watching the movie. You shush him. Sorry, I should let the film speak for itself. A man on the screen yells portents of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot's really heating up. I love that there are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. This is in no way referencing the video game you're playing right now. And then it sees you back. Incredible! Cosmic horror in the truest sense. Yeah, those teeths. Look at that. Those chompers there.
Looking a little extra teethy.
Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie.
Rude.
Talking during movies is fine, let him, he's just excited. Sorry if I'm talking a lot, I'm just jittery. It's a little terrifying to think that she's up there right now. There is a knock on the window. Charlie, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. That voice, I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the supposedly shatterproof window. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. What do you mean? Wayne isn't gonna hurt you. He hasn't hurt anyone. Yes, he will. He's furious with me. Can't you hear it? But I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower in fear from the people who want to hurt me. I can protect both of us, Charlie. The window shatters. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand. I'll pull you out. Leave us alone!
Where's the tail? Oh, and that's a face.
Yep. In a surge of violence, the change that has been growing inside Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. What? How?
Look.
Oh, it's things. Okay, got it.
His paint things, yeah.
I'm not gonna run for the stairs. I feel that would be poor. We aren't safe, but I feel strong now. I think I can save us. Stay here. I'll be right back. I just have to deal with the doc. Reese storms up the stairs, leaving you with his creations. Try to warn Dr. Kelly.
You know, Tabitha did say got in trouble. She...
I mean, I'm assuming you can do more than one explore. Or can you not here?
I'm not sure. And if you want to go back and do one of them, though, you can just load from an autosave. Or from an actual thing.
Yeah, I'll just save that one. Be fine. Alright, let's see what happens if we call Tabitha. You dial your cousin's number.
Hey, where are you?
Man, you ain't gonna believe this.
All of these are funny. Like, what do you know about Reese? It's just such a funny.
Yep. Can you come pick me up? Yeah. I'm at the clinic. I think Dr. Kelly is in danger. There's a monster on the loose. Seems pretty concise.
Yeah.
Answers the question, establishes the threat, indicates the type.
Yep.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Don't move a muscle. I'm coming to get you.
Your cousin hangs up the phone. Okay. You can still try and warn Dr. Kelly.
Yes.
You make your way
I
out to
think, though, if you try to do that first, you won't be able to call Tabitha.
Yeah.
Which is why I brought it up.
Yeah, makes sense. You make your way to the door that beckoned you yesterday. All intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper to the doctor's office, there is a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. Open the door. You grasp the handle and turn. Duck! Duck. When someone says duck, you duck. You do as she says, ducking out of the way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer down from between his ribs, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're gonna have to try harder than that, No, how did you... As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between the cracks in the wood. Reese's panic pulling in a mob of furious creatures to hold his enemy in place. The artist darts away, but his creations continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway as Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. Oh, hi, Puka. What a time to come in. All right. I feel like running to a nearby room might be safer for Dr. Kelly. Yeah, there's red.
There's quite a lot of
There's red for red. Danger. Uh-oh, indeed. You rush out of the main entryway, taking cover in the first room you see. A few seconds pass. Things are quiet.
Hey!
Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker.
You, Charlie. I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Puka has very little context as to what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
You survived. What's going on?
I think you can probably put that together.
Doctor, you are greatly overestimating my ability to understand what the is going on here.
Now, listen to me. You're in the medical storage room, right? I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers.
Oh, cool. Sure.
I mean, you saw her shoot a tranquilizer dart to him and then do it in nothing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly.
It's a bottle labeled fentanyl. Their tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore.
An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Charlie, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. Just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's just gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers? Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in that basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me slowly every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now, better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous, she's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me.
I'm not dangerous, just planning to eat her.
I don't know if I feel right about having Wayne come to help. I am not going to let you kill someone, Reese. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't going to kill me? Does she care?
Trust me, Reese, I've always been very careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you.
Puka, yes, we're trying to give him his chill pills in the form of elephant tranquilizer darts to the neck right now.
Yeah.
Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance, and you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face. Enough. Reese cries out in pain. Ah, what the hell did you do to my shoulder? I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. The two stagger off down the hallway. Yeah, indeed, Leah, the ultimate chill pill. Quite so.
Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room.
You don't have to tell me twice. You already did. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's clearly an organized woman. Head for the safe room. Yes, exactly. Wayne, minimum necessary force. You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. Yikes. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the massive paint, sealing it shut.
Hurry! I don't think I can keep it open for long.
You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor.
It sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here.
I mean, we know what the room is. It's a safe room. We don't need to ask that. But let's talk Reese. Yeah.
Ask some of those questions, Pukara.
Puka, yeah, indeed. What did Sybil give you? Let's talk Reese.
Yeah, I bet you have some questions.
Oh, just a couple?
Go ahead. I have nothing left to hide.
Start with the first one. What is he?
At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll just have to remain a mystery.
Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face.
I wish I knew. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone, I just woke up expecting one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams.
Established Monsterotica fan, Dr. Kelly.
But then all of a sudden,
My
my
cycle
period
changed.
stopped. I
Yeah.
got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later,
Yes, indeed, Leah. That is some Rosemary's Baby stuff. Only without it being a morality tale about the evils of being a yuppie. So go figure. You know.
and 9 months later, Reese.
Yeah. No. My suspicion is that she was getting dosed with something by Sybil, so that something could propagate with her.
That's so interesting. I was just looking over at your stream, and Pukara's messages come out.
Yep,
Through,
Leah's
but
don't.
Leah's don't.
It's true. Leah's stealth mode.
Stealthy Leah.
Exactly. When did you find out?
A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, and a few extras. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder, had him checked out with a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now. Just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared to see that, and we stopped. I thought it was a one-off, or maybe a hallucination. But the second time, it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Puka, good use of the werewolf terminology there. Glabro versus Krinos form. How did he? But again, I don't think this necessarily tracks to werewolf. Neil. The relationship between you seems so difficult. Yeah, kind of an understatement.
Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was expecting, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever. No matter what, kids grow up and they change, sometimes for the worse. This is part of being a mom, too. Doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people.
I mean, kind of know all these questions. I don't feel the need to ask them particularly.
Well, the poisoning him one does go some interesting places.
That's true. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs.
Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness.
As they say, the difference between medication and poison is just a matter of ratios, right, or volume.
Yep. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high doses of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought.
Dosage was the word. Thank you, Leah. I could not think of it.
I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it.
Someone indeed.
And I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since.
Who approached you?
And that gives you...
And was it Sybil? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look.
I don't want to talk about that woman.
It'd be weird if it wasn't Sybil.
But screw it, I might die tonight. Sure, I'll tell you.
It was... Oh, no, there we
keep
go.
Going. This moment, if you drank the tea, would be whited out.
Huh?
You don't get any of this from the, I might as well, I might die tonight, I might as well tell you.
Yep.
There's a flash of white, and then you skip this entire bit.
I think actually that might have happened to
Literally.
me last time.
It's the tea. I guess that's a spoiler, but now that you've seen it and not seen it, and
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
thing a bit different was not drinking tea. Anyway, it was Sybil. I don't know how the hell she found out. Maybe Reese had an episode while he was over at her place. Who can say?
Maybe she's been pulling the strings the whole time.
I thought she was insane. She was telling me to give my son ricin like it was a mystical mountain folk cure for fussy teenagers. She was right, though. And I hate that. I hate the power it meant she had over me. Still has.
She can't be the only source for castor beans, can she?
I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, like, you can buy castor oil. Anyway.
Don't trust her, Charlie. She puts on that sweet old lady act, giving everybody tea and talking about healing magics or whatever. But she's a snake.
Yeah, I mean...
And it is incredibly suspicious that if you drank her tea, you don't get to hear any of that.
Yep. You gotta wonder what she sees when you do that. Do you just, like, go blank?
Yeah, probably you're just, like, zoning out.
Okay. We know what the room is. It's a safe room. Yeah, here we go. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping?
You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud.
So what is the game plan, both short and long term?
Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after.
Has that worked before?
He's never known the exact nature of his condition before. Maybe it was a mistake to hide it from him. But I thought it meant he could feel like he had more freedom, not knowing that if he just stopped taking his pills, he could become big and pointy enough to kill me. I'm going to have to revoke some of those freedoms now. He's not going to like that, but I think he'll understand even if it takes time. I don't think he wants to hurt people. He just can't help what he is.
All right, sit in silence and wait for Reese.
Yeah, the only thing about what is this room is she'll tell you it's an old x-ray room.
Yeah. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room.
Shit, this might be game time. Get those tranks ready. We have to get this door open before he crosses the hallway.
Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Hey, buddy. Is this what you were so afraid of? Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yes!
Hand over the tranquilizer.
Hand over the tranquilizer. This is our shot.
Give her the tranquilizer darts. Yeah, fucking do it. Before Dr. Kelly can fire, a different shot rings out. Reese's body is thrown to the wall. Shotgun in hand, your cousin rounds the corner and trains her weapon on his writhing body.
Tabitha, what are you doing here? Stop it! Let me sedate him! We can deal with it non-lethally. Are you insane? That thing was trying to kill you!
Help Dr. Kelly sedate
And that's
Reese.
how you get... Technically, there's 4 options to ending this.
Mm-hmm.
One of them would require you to have the hot crate. One of them is locking him away. One of them is letting him meet Dr. Kelly. And if you call Tabitha, that first one.
You leap forward, placing your body between Tabitha
you
and
can
the
still do
whimpering
this.
Reese, his face already trying to stitch itself back together as he writhes on the ground.
Charlie, what the hell? think you're doing?
Don't kill him. He's still a person.
Person my ass! Did you see his face? Both of you shut up and help me drag him into the safe room now.
You turn to see Dr. Kelly already pulling her son toward the open doorway. Tabitha swings the gun onto her back, huffily jumping in to help Dr. Kelly. It's not long before his regenerating body is sealed away behind the door.
Not exactly how I thought that would play out, but at least none of us are dead. If you've done any permanent damage to him, you're going to be the one paying for the medical supplies, Miss Scarlet.
That's pretty reasonable.
You aren't seriously going to keep that thing alive, are you? It's clearly dangerous. What makes you think you can keep it locked up? It is my son, Miss Scarlet, and despite appearances, he is still human. I prefer you refer to him as such. And I've managed to keep him safely locked away and harmless for years. Sure, it'll be a little more difficult. He knows about his condition, but that room is lined with lead. He's not going anywhere. He's human? Are you sure about that? Are we talking about the same guy? Trust me, I've done genetic tests. He is human somehow, and it's my job as his mother to protect him and protect people from him. It's not a burden I take lightly. You don't have to worry about him getting out anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the one I want. Dr. Kelly bought us time. I'm sure we can figure out what to do about him later.
There is no we. He's my son. He's my problem. I'd prefer it if both of you forgot what you saw tonight and went on about your business.
Yeah, that ain't happening. That's going to be in my dreams forever.
If I recall from 2 minutes ago, you would have been chopped in half if I hadn't stepped in. I don't think you're capable of dealing with this rationally, Joan. Are you just going to hope somebody steps in next time too? Or one of these days your luck is going to run out. Get out of my house. I don't need some kid to stand here lecturing me all night. I have a lot of cleaning up to do.
You and your cousin leave the clinic, Dr. Kelly slamming the shotgun-blasted door behind you. The two of you make your way to the bottom of the hill where Tabitha's car is parked among the sleepy houses of Scarlet Hollow's residential street. She places her gun in the trunk and turns to face you.
You're alone right now. Is Stella still missing? I tried calling her a couple of times, but I kept getting her stupid voicemail.
Yep. The two of you are interrupted by the sound of panting and the telltale jingling of dog tags. It's the militia. They've poured out of the woods to stand before you on the road.
Very brave of the little doggies to go into the woods for her. Just for Gretchen's hero. What in the... what did I do for Scraps? He had a Southern, right? You were looking for
Daisy
you were looking for Gretchen's human, weren't you? We found her. She's by the side of the road a little ways through the woods. She's unharmed, but she wouldn't leave when we tried to make her, so we'll have to take you to her. Hopefully you can use your people words to get her to go someplace safe. The woods are crawling with those awful creatures. It's not safe anymore, not even for a human. Why do these dogs look so seriously? Not seriously. Why do these dogs look so serious? We should get in the car before they eat us.
I have a feeling they want us to follow them. They might have found Stella.
I totally can't talk to animals. I just have a... Or the...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about following a bunch of strange dogs into the woods, but if Stella's in trouble... Okay, we'll take a quick detour.
You let the dogs lead you into the wilderness, following on their heels as they take you to Stella. Before long, the trees thin, and you find yourself on a steep hill by a two-lane road, lined on one side by sheer rock.
And there she is. Keep her safe. Be seeing you, stranger.
They leave. There, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out of the asphalt, is Stella. You watch her from the underbrush.
She's alive, thank God.
She sounds more exasperated than relieved. Which one is more cathartic for Stella?
Either talk to her or let's talk to her.
Let's go talk to her.
I don't know. We've got baggage. I'll just make things worse. No, you're right. She's been practically begging for us to be closer than we are. It's time I stopped letting my dead mother dictate who I'm allowed to talk to. Let's do it.
The two of you join Stella, perching on the old log on either side of her.
You all came to find me? You didn't have to go to all that trouble. I was probably going to head home too. You had Charlie worried all day, you know? And it looks like you got into some trouble too. Charlie, you're all covered in blood. I think a lot of that's paint, actually. Paint? What? This is where your parents died, right? Oh, major content warning.
Yeah,
After you see the truck coming in the road, there will be a scene of decapitation.
yeah. Bad, like, Doom Patrol level car crash death coming up in a second.
Yes. Now is the time to look away. And I'll say when it's done. It's not done yet. And
Yeah, I think she was like
should
11,
now be
Puka.
safe to look again. No, she was on her way to college. So
Oh.
she was 18, 17
Okay.
maybe.
So, older than I thought by the look of it. Fair enough.
Still a teenager.
Yeah.
Have you been sitting here all day? Yeah. Just waiting.
Silence falls over the three of you. The wind rustling the leaves and the sound of night insects carry on around you, muted in the still night.
Nothing happened, though. That's probably for the best. Tabby, did I do something wrong after the accident? What? There's whole years of my life that feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. Did I do something to push you away? No, all you wanted to do was talk to me. But Perlan wouldn't let you. Oh,
Man. Aw.
honestly, the top option's not a bad one.
I was about to say, top option's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And it was the one I was about to say. I was like, man, fuck Perlan.
May she rot in hell.
Damn, alright, Tabitha, go off.
At least she brought us all together.
The three of you stare out into the quiet night.
I think the accident is probably why I got into something. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know whether I even could. I never found anything, so I eventually gave up. Then last night happened, and I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again, or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Do you want to say goodbye?
Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breaths slow and even.
Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine.
She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. No response comes. But she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes.
That kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I'd kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it, you two.
Stella straightens up, stretching her back.
We should probably head back, right? We haven't slept in a day.
We should probably tell her. Before you go, we should probably tell you about what happened today.
Oh? Are you sure about that, Taylor? It's too late. The cat's out of the bag, and you have to tell me about your misadventure.
You and Tabitha relay the events of the evening as best you can. Saying it out loud somehow makes it feel less real, like you're sharing the plot of a horror movie, not something that actually happened to you.
Oh my god. That poor guy. And poor Dr. This just sucks for everyone.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that's going on with your mic right now, but you keep cutting in and out.
Oh, I don't know why.
Hmm.
And Tabby, you brought a shotgun there? I wanted protection. Hopefully Reese and his mom can work things out. We should try to visit them tomorrow. You two can do that without me. You know, I think processing one traumatic event is enough for the day. One's going right into the void.
That's the spirit.
At least until we get to the end of the week. Yeah, usually I'll tell her if he gets locked up, but I won't tell her if he dies or if
Sure.
Haley dies.
Makes sense. The three of you make your way back through the woods before arriving at Stella's house.
This is me. Thanks again, you two. It's time for us to get back to the estate, Charlie. Tabby, wait, before you go.
Stella wraps your cousin in a tight hug. Aw.
Don't be a stranger, okay? Never again. I promise.
You and Tabitha quietly return to the estate, both of you impossibly exhausted by the day's events.
I've got to crash. I'll see you tomorrow.
She heads to bed without another word. Go to bed. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse on the bed. As your eyes sink, you realize that something smells off about the room. It smells rotten. You jolt awake as the door creaks. Don't look so frightened. I was just going to say good night. And to give you a word of advice. Tabitha won't be around tomorrow. Too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you. And you might be surprised at what you find. Until then, sleep well. No, go get out of my house. Wayne leaves your room and closes the door behind him. The damp
Yeah,
smell
you
of the
can ask them
mattress.
questions, but they don't tell you anything useful.
Yeah. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You think for a moment about calling Oscar, but you're just too tired to even bother.
It's pretty late anyway.
You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese, trapped in that tiny windowless room, all his greatest fears realized, his body no longer his own. But you stopped him from killing Dr. Kelly. The world, at least for now, is protected from him. And then you think of nothing.
And whoop, there's episode 4.
Episode 5 may release later this year. We'll find out. Follow on social media to stay up on the latest of Scarlet Hollow's development.
I hope so.
Black Tabby Games at Blue Sky.
Yeah, if there's one thing that'll get me back up to school, it'll be to do chapter 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right, Leah? Well, here's the thing.
One more so bad. But I also want to have and read product.
We have only scratched the surface of the things that are available in the existing chapters, however. So if you are interested and want to see more ways that things play out, there's all kinds of other things that can be seen if you decide that you want to play Scarlet Hollow for yourself. So
yeah, every trait combination has like really interesting options.
Mm-hmm. I think they said like 3 times more dialogue than Slay the Princess in the chapters that already exist.
Yeah, that tracks.
Or that might have been just the last update added 3 times more Slay the Princess.
Part of that is like, because there's just so many characters and so much happening.
Yeah. Just saying. Anyway. Congratulations! For finishing all of the episodes currently available in game, you've unlocked Hardcore mode. It hadn't, not since Hardcore mode was introduced.
Oh, since we're going.
Hardcore mode allows you to select 3 traits at character creation, but you will no longer be able to use your traits to avoid the consequences of major decisions. This penalty only applies in hardcore runs. Have fun, if you dare.
It's very funny because you get an achievement for each chapter that you play through on hardcore mode. They are called, respectively, no, 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 no.
Very good. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the main menu now.
Alrighty, yay!
So yes, so that was Scarlet Hollow in at least a fraction of its glory. There is so much yet to be seen, of course, but yeah. So I'm very glad that I got to play this on stream again with you, Hanapengu. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm very glad that I got to make sure that Leah got to see it and Puka got to see at least parts of it, including some new parts, I'm guessing. So that's very cool. Okay. So yes, not sure what will be next time's game, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. I still have to finish UFO 50 and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, at the end of chapter 4 is will be the most intense parts of the game.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Okay. Well.
Sorry,
Yes, we are running a bit late, and there is a wrestling pay-per-view about to start. So I'm going to end the stream, and I will say to all of you out there, good night out there, whatever you are.